Thank you very much, Prof, for this wonderful presentation. I believe the participants have benefited a lot from the wealth of experiences you brought in this webinar. And definitely, as Prof has mentioned, just to recap some of the things that Prof has mentioned, Prof has highlighted the primary causes of cost of living crisis, which he highlighted that we have the rising cost of living. We have also the supply chain disruptions, which is triggered by insurgency, the natural disasters, and so many other things that disrupt the production, agricultural production, and other activities. Among the factors also, there is increased energy cost, which is affected by as a result of the increase in population and demand. And we also have the cost of fund, that is high rate of inflation, and the MPC, the high increase in the interest rate, that is the MPC rate rising to 26%. And also government policies are part of what give rise to the cost of living crisis and economic instability. And the aspect side, impact of the cost of living crisis, Prof has mentioned that it has led to the reduce in the standard of living, and it led to financial hardships among the individuals. And the most importantly, Prof mentioned the mental health disorder, mental health strain, which is part of what led to the current the social unrest, which also led to the social unrest, the recent, as we have seen in the case of recent end bad governance protests in the country. So also Prof has highlighted the differences between Islamic finance and also the conventional financing in the aspect of we've seen in terms of principle, in terms of ethical consideration, in terms of asset backing, in terms of sharing profit and loss sharing. And these are a lot of the principles that make Islamic finance a unique financing model or financing system that is very important, that can also provide a solution to the current economic challenges. So with this, I can quickly go on to the second session, which will require Mala Ismail to unmute yourself, please. And with this presentation, this background that has been said by Prof. Mala Ismail, what are the practical Islamic financing products and services that we can domesticate in our everyday living so that it will help us just to serve as a shock absorbers in these current economic challenges? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I believe my screen is visible, right?
It's visible,
Can you see my share screen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I will said I will listen to what Prof explained in terms of some of the causes of the rising cost of living. We can easily see today that yes, Islamic finance it is a form of finance which some look at it to be alternative to the conventional finance. However, it is not an alternative. It is a core finance itself, because all what you can get in the conventional is also available in the Islamic. So let me start by saying this, that just like in the conventional that profit is allowed, you're also allowed to make profit and income under the Islamic finance, and there is no limit to such level of percentage of profit that can be realized in a particular business transaction. However, the way we have government and you also have private sectors. So under Islamic finance, we also have the profit and the social part. So meaning under the commercial part, whereby you go into business transaction or you go into a paid employed services, whereby on a monthly basis you'll be paid salary or you make profit from your business. It is the same thing in the conventional. However, Islamic finance also now recognizes the social part, meaning the way you can make profit, there's also need for us to also look at the social sector. And the reason is this: we have the rise in inequalities. So inequalities meaning on a yearly basis, you see transactions or businesses or corporations declaring profit, and this profit is also increasing on a daily basis, whereas the level of poverty is also increasing. So what happened? It means there is a lacuna. Lacuna in the sense that those who are probably making the profit are not distributing that profit elsewhere, meaning there is no equal distribution of income. So the Islamic social finance, which is also a form of Islamic finance. So under this, we have situation whereby those who have made income, it is now your responsibility to also ensure that the standard of living of those people who are living close to you, either relative or direct or indirect relative, will also benefit from this financial benefit you are enjoying. And because of that, when it comes to the business aspect, so the Islamic finance have different contracts that one can use, whether individual or as a business, in order to reduce the cost of living. So why am I saying this? You have different individuals. So in the traditional way, you have people who do what we call adache. So meaning it is a partnership whereby you have 2 or 3 people coming together in order for them to contribute money so that they can either share or they do what we call joint contribution. So in the Islamic finance, that is on the right side. On the left side, you have business entities that can also partner within themselves. So meaning I have the money, but I don't have the expertise, and I want to improve my standard of living. So what can I do? There is a woman that is selling kose within your area. She needs to also purchase beans for her to improve her business. Can we all do partnership in this regard so that, yes, with my money, but I don't have the capacity to fry akara? Can I go into businesses with somebody who is doing akara? Or did I need to also partner with a farmer who has the capacity to go into farming while I have the capital, so that we can both partner in this particular regard? So there are different contracts that can be employed in the informal sector, that either the mudaraba or the musharaka, meaning I can provide the capital, you manage the business, like the Mudaraba part. But for the Musharaka, meaning we can all become investors in the business. And at the same time, we can also become the active partner by ensuring that the business is being managed accordingly. So we have the partnership contract that either we can utilize in this particular regard. However, you have a situation whereby you are a business owner or an household, and today, going by what the explanation associate professor have made, we've all noticed that there is an increase in the inflational rate, meaning the amount you use in purchasing an item last month is higher than what you'll be using this month. So what can you do? So meaning you can approach an Islamic finance entity, and you already established that you need a particular asset. They can help you in financing this asset. So what it does is that it saves you the pressure of purchasing that asset in future at a higher price. But what you've done is that you've been able to mitigate that increase in the cost of purchasing that item by ensuring that you seek for an asset financing option through an Islamic finance window. And this is the advantage of the Islamic finance window. Unlike in the conventional, whereby whenever there is an increase in the NPR or inflation, the rate will also increase automatically. But in the Islamic finance window, when I finance a business, no matter how increased the NPR rate is being done by the CBN, or the inflationary rate is also increasing, that particular rate will remain the same throughout the contract period. So meaning there is nothing to worry about. It is certain, the level of uncertainty is tending towards zero. So meaning you understand how much you purchase the item, you know what you need to pay back to the Islamic finance financial institution, and this will also help you in mitigating against the increase in the cost of that particular asset that you will have been saving a lot of money to purchase at a higher price in future. So by looking at the partnership and the sales contract, we can all see that it is an avenue for us individually to also penetrate into the capital market or the banking sector for us to seek financing. Then you can also use the Ijara, which is another contract, which is like a lease. So imagine you staying in a house as a tenant, but your rent on a monthly basis or on an annual basis is also a consideration for you to purchase that house at the end of the contract. So meaning after 5 years, the house can become yours. So the Islamic finance contract gives you opportunity to do that. However, there is a part that most of us have neglected, which is the Islamic social finance angle. So Prof mentioned zakat, wakaf, sadaqah, and qadr. So these are 4 basic Islamic finance, Islamic social finance tools that can be utilized in ensuring that the inequality or the cost of living we enjoy within our society is reducing. So for instance, you have people who are in the villages or a farmer who harvests certain number of farm produce. Based on the zakat nisab, which is the benchmark, there is a certain amount of farm produce you are going to harvest in your farm that some portion of it need to be subjected to zakat distribution, meaning, yes, you are enjoying the harvest. However, it is also your responsibility to also distribute some part of this harvest to those within the same locality who may not have the capacity to feed themselves within that particular period. So meaning it is also our responsibility to ensure that there is what we call, I'm not the only one enjoying, everybody should enjoy. So, and that is the essence of finance. Finance should not be an exploitative angle. It should be an angle where you have a symbiotic relationship, not a parasitic relationship. So symbiotic in the sense that all parties in the ecosystem will enjoy at the end of the day. So for the wakaf, this is an everlasting endowment, meaning even when you've gone beyond this particular world, so meaning if someone have died, even 100 years, that asset can continue to generate economic benefit, and the benefit generated from the asset will be used in financing other people's welfare activities. And I know for 117, as an individual, yes, with that your little amount, you can also do a wakaf investment. And this investment has an hybrid opportunity, meaning you can be enjoying your profit from the wakaf investment. And also that some part of the profit that have been generated will also go to charity. So meaning you have a dual benefit in the sense that you may have some part of your profit coming back to you. You also have some part of your profit that also go into charity. So is it not a good option that we can all explore with your 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 naira? So meaning nobody that can give excuse whether I cannot partake in the social financing consideration. Then we now have the sadaqah, which is the voluntary contribution. In your area, how many people do you redistribute your income to on a daily basis? We should understand that society is not about living in isolation. Rather, society is when we live as a family in a cycle, meaning if I have a bag of rice, I gave someone 10 mudus of rice. It is expected that the person you will giving the 10 mudu will also give it to somebody who need probably 5 mudu. The person who collect the 5 mudu will also redistribute it to somebody who need 1 mudu. So when this redistribution continues, you will notice that in that particular society, most of the people will not be having what we call hunger. Why? Because those who have are bringing and sharing to those who actually do not have. And what it does to you is that the level of criminality in such kind of society will reduce. Why? Because there have been the tendency that somebody who is hungry, the level at which Shaitan who can remote control his life is tending towards 100%. So meaning it is a potential to commit any crime you can ever think of. So when somebody is hungry and you look at people in the same society who are living in affluence, so meaning it is our responsibility, to also redistribute the little things we have on a monthly basis or on a daily basis to especially those that we think are vulnerable, the old and children who are not or who cannot partake in economic activities that means they are not employed or they are underemployed. So, and as financial institution also, there is what we call code assign, and this can be given to people who are loyal customers to the organization, meaning I'll give you 100 naira and I'm not expecting you to pay back anything in addition to this 100 naira. So meaning this is can be done to people who already have established credit rating in terms of their financial relationship with the organization. So in the recent, what I'm trying to bring it to us is that as individuals, we can go into partnership when our capital is very small. You may decide to start by contributing from your little monthly income. So as it is expected that from your monthly income, whether you're a businessman or a paid employee that collects salaries on a monthly basis, some portion of your income should actually go into investment. But it is also important that some portion of your income will also go into charity. So no matter how small your income is, if everybody who are employed today decide to be doing charity, voluntary charity in this regard, so what it means that you identify people within your environment and you give to those who you think are highly vulnerable. Before you know, the distribution of income on a monthly basis from those who have to those who does not have, we will be reducing the level of inequalities. And what this means is that the cost of living, which most of the time is as a result of insecurity, meaning in a society whereby there are bandits, in the society whereby there are criminals, number one, those who will go into farming will reduce. Those who will go into economic activities will reduce. Why? Because a lot of the time expected to be spent in doing economic activities would rather be spent in hideout, people hiding not to be kidnapped. And what this means is very simple. Today we have food scarcity. This food scarcity is as a result of people who are in the village who couldn't go to farm, meaning the crime rate has affected our economic activity. So how can we reduce crime rate? You cannot reduce crime rate by just using the military component. We also need to go by also doing charity, meaning it is when the criminals have access to people who are hunger or who experience hunger, they can easily be influenced by even promising them little. But when people are being taken care of by we in the society, by not expecting that everything should be done by the government, then what it means that their probability to contribute or to commit crime in that society will be going down. Why? Because their ability to eat is being provided. The shelter they needed probably is being provided. Our charity from work may be used in constructing education in those rural areas, in providing health facilities in those rural areas. So the basic need of human existence will be provided through this charity means. And what it does is that people's ability to commit crime will be reduced. And this can be evidenced in most of the advanced Islamic countries whereby the level of crime in those society is very reduced. How many times will you hear about gunshot, probably in Saudi Arabia or Qatar or Bahrain or United Arab Emirates? Why? Is because their level of involvement in zakat distribution, in work distribution, in sadaqah is very high. So meaning the level of crime within the citizens of those countries is also very low. Why? Because we have people who ensure that all Islamic social finance benefits are being effectively utilized, and this has also affect their ways of life of living. But in the commercial part, which is the last part I'll be talking about, is the essence of as individual. So how do you attain a situation whereby you think you need to be giving out to people? So meaning it is your yesterday's savings that will become today's expenditure. So meaning if you did not save yesterday, there is nothing for you to spend today. No matter how small your income may look like, there is some portion that you need to subject to investment or savings. And the other part is that avoid debt. Debt is a very key factor that eating up into people's cost of living. So meaning your today's income will be used in paying debt. So what it means that when others may be using their capital to buy food. Yours will be to pay off debt, and it means that you will not have any means of sustenance for you to enjoy your life. And in this regard, so meaning avoid what you cannot buy. So meaning you should only buy what you think your hands can accommodate. And when you need to do asset financing or asset purchase through an Islamic finance, then it must be that that asset must be something that you actually need in the real sense. So you shouldn't be influenced by what we call the relative consumption, meaning because you stay in Asokoro and everybody in Asokoro is using Mercedes-Benz, but you also decide to buy the Mercedes-Benz, whereas your capacity can only accommodate Toyota. So if you can only buy silver, yes, you should limit yourself to silver. If the phone you can buy is an Android phone, you shouldn't be forced to go and buy iPhone. So meaning you should live within your means. So the ability for people to live within their own capacity by not going into what we call debt, because debt is also a part that also affects people's cost of living. By the time you use virtually all your money in paying out debt, then it affects your income, anything you'll be earning at that particular point in time. So thank you very much. I think this is just the basic aspect, looking at Islamic finance tools that we can use in solving some of the cost of living and the inequalities we are experiencing now. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.